guys, LovelyMuze here. For those who may not be new to my channel, welcome back. However, for those who are new, welcome to my channel, where so far, I have been providing K-pop related content, from opinion videos, to ranking videos, to even analysis videos. This time however, I decided to do an out-of-pocket video on the list of male K-pop groups that I am currently a fan of, or currently interested in. Essentially, in this video, I will be providing you with a list of male K-pop groups that I am currently a fan of, along with a reason on how I got introduced to these groups and who in those groups are my biases. Anyways, let's get into the video. The first group on my list is none other than 17. They are basically my ultimate K-pop group, that I have been with since their pre-debut. I was first introduced to them through their pre-debut live cam, 17 TV. Ever since 17 TV, I basically fell in love with them and their charm, and I still love and cherish them till this day. I don't necessarily have a bias in 17, as many of the fans know, it is hard to choose a bias in 17. However, I do have a soft spot for Boo. Not only are we the same age, but I just find him really entertaining and funny, like genuinely speaking, if there was an idol that I could choose to be friends with, it would be Boo. In addition, not only are the members very talented, being known as self-producing idols and synchronizing kings, but they are also very funny and entertaining. I also like the tight bond that they have with each other. You can really feel how genuine and close they are to one another, as well as how much they cherish their fans. The best way to get into 17, if you are looking to get into them, would be through their ongoing show Going 17, as well as their recent documentary, Hit the Road. Next, we have Monsta X. Similar to 17, I have been following Monsta X since the beginning, when they were on the survival show called No Mercy. Also, just like 17, I do not have a bias in the group, but I do have a soft spot for Johan, who is also known as Joe Honey. I just really love his smile, not to mention, his raps and flow are just too good. Furthermore, Monsta X are also very entertaining to watch and have very eye-catching performances just like 17. Not to mention, I love the wholesome relationship they have with 17, being that both Monsta X and 17 debuted the same year and month, just days apart. Though, due to unfortunate events that happened late 2019, Monsta X is now a 6-member group. However, all 7 members will always remain in my heart as Monsta X. Love you one ho. Next up is Astro. I really very much adore Astro. Though compared to some of the other groups that I stan, I do not keep up with the content they provide, regularly. However, if there is a group that I have a soft spot for, it is both Golden Child and Astro. I was first introduced to Astro through their debut web drama called To Be Continued. Back then, I didn't know that they were a boy group planning to debut through this web drama. I just thought it was a web drama that had very good looking male leads. It was through this drama that I fell in love with Moonbin's acting. In short, after taking an interest in Moonbin, I decided to search him up to see what other dramas he had acted in, because I thought he was an actor not an idol, along with the other members. Anyways, next thing I knew, I found out that the web drama was actually a debut drama to help introduce their group to the public before they make their official debut. Furthermore, I also have a soft spot for the song they sing in their web drama called Innocent Love. I don't know why, but I just really love that song, and I really love MJ's voice in it. By the way, my bias in the group is Moonbin, and I really love the friendship he has with Boo, and the friendship Astro has with 17. Next is NCT. Just like the other previous groups I mentioned, NCT is also a group that I was introduced to since pre-debut. A lot of the K-pop groups that I'm a fan of, I have basically known them or kept up with them since pre-debut. In other words, I have been with those groups since before their debut and or since their debut. Anyways, for NCT's case, even though I have been following them since pre-debut, it wasn't until their first subunit, NCTU debuted with their song 7th Sense, that I fell truly in love with the group. Everything about the song, the music and the concept was so good, but then they went ghost. However, when NCT 127 debuted with Fire Truck, I fell right out of love. But then when NCT Dream debuted with Chewing Gum, I fell back in love. It has basically been a roller coaster ride with NCT, like a turn on turn off kind of thing. Out of all the units, my least favorite unit would have to be NCT 127, that is in terms of music. However, in terms of content, NCT 127 is my favorite. I much prefer NCT 127's side track songs rather than their title songs, except for the title tracks they had for their recent comebacks. I will say, if there is one group that is very consistent with bringing out a lot of content for their fans to enjoy, it is definitely NCT. They really know how to feed their fans well. I guess it helps when they have multiple units they promote. Also, my bias in the group is Haechan, but I do have a soft spot for Mark, Renjun and Jungwoo. Following next is GOT7. GOT7 is a group I was first introduced to through iKON's first survival show called Win. I got interested in them very quickly, because during that time I was already scoping around looking for a new group to stan. However, Jackson was the one who prompted me to find out more about them, only to find out that him and the others were planning on debuting about a year after Winner would debut. I'll be honest, I didn't really like their debut song. I didn't hate it, but I also didn't like it. In fact, if I am going to be honest again, I am not a big fan of a lot of their music. In fact, GOT7 is pretty much known to have unique songs that not a lot of people find to be their taste. I can only pick a handful of songs from GOT7 that I truly like. Not to mention, they are mainly known and liked more for their genuine personalities and how entertaining and funny they are, rather than their music. As artists, it's unfortunate, but it's true. If I am looking for a good laugh, I tend to search up GOT7 memes and videos, because they are just really that funny. They are part of the top K-pop groups that I genuinely find funny, the others being 17, B2B, and Super Junior. My bias in the group is Jackson. In fact, out of all the K-pop idols, Boo Seungkwan and Jackson Wang are literally my ultimate favorite. Next, we have Stray Kids. Stray Kids is probably the group that I find myself relating to the most for some reason, and I honestly don't know why. I was also introduced to this group through their survival show, and what fascinated me the most was the fact that there were Australian members. I don't know why it fascinated me, but it did. I am not even Australian, but my guess is probably because, whenever I find a K-pop idol who is a native English speaker, they are typically from America or Canada. You rarely find a native English speaker who is from a different country than those two. So I guess I was quite fascinated to see that there was going to be Australian members. Furthermore, I really like their music. I honestly don't think there's any song from Stray Kids that I don't like. Actually wait, never mind, I wasn't really feeling Side Effect, it was doing too much for me. But I will say that my ultimate favorite song from them is Voices. I don't specifically know why, but I really like that song. Stray Kids are one of the very few groups that really have empowering lyrics and sing about social issues that a lot of people face. My bias in the group is Han Ji-sung, because I really like his raps the most, but I do really like Changbin's flows and tone better. I also really like Ji-sung's personality because his personality is like mine. As for Felix, I don't know why, but I just simply have a soft spot for him. Following Stray Kids is ATEEZ. ATEEZ is a group I have known about since their pre-debut, since they were called KQ Fellas. You don't see a lot of intense hip-hop based groups, except for maybe BTS or iKON, so I was really excited when I found them. Just like Stray Kids, there really isn't any song that I don't like from them, and this time I mean it. I literally have all their songs downloaded on my phone in their own special playlist. Out of all the male rookie groups, they have the most fascinating concept to me and music storyline. My bias in this group is San. I really like his personality and the confidence he has on stage when performing, but I do have a soft spot for both Jungho and Hongjung. Next, we have TXT. When TXT was first introduced to the public, I'll be honest, I was not at all interested in them. It wasn't because they were from Big Hit or because they are the brother group to BTS. But rather, because they just seemed dull to me. They looked plain. Especially, when Big Hit released those photos of them introducing the members, I just found them so plain. It wasn't, however, until their second comeback for their song Runaway, that I became a fan of them. Then I decided to go back and check out their previous songs, such as Crown, Cat and Dog, and their side tracks, and I really enjoyed them. I have some, not all, but some of their music downloaded on my phone, one of them being Runaway of course. I also really liked their recent comeback, it brought out a different side and a different vibe from them. My bias in the group is Bongyu. I like the fact that despite his outward appearance, his personality is completely different. Next up is the boys. I was introduced to the boys through one of their reality show called Come On the Boys, and from there on kept up with them. You see, for me, I tend to have a soft spot for idols who are Canadian even though they aren't necessarily my bias, because I am Canadian, such as ex-member Chris from the group EXO, NCT Mark, Super Junior M Henry, and the boys Jacob. I also tend to gravitate or at least have a soft spot for large groups. My favorite songs from the boys is No Air, Reveal, DDD, and some of their side tracks. My bias in the group is Chanhee, who is also known as New. Following the boys, we have Golden Child. Golden Child was first introduced to me through their debut song Damn Daddy. I really love their song, it sounded so refreshing and like a song that could be from the 80s or something. I really like their personalities as a group, they just seem very wholesome if that makes sense. My top favorite songs from them are Let Me and Wannabe. My bias in the group is both Jo Chan and Dong Hyun. Golden Child are one of the two male idol groups that I have a soft spot for, the other being Astro. Moving on to Treasure. This group haven't even debuted yet, but I already love them and are a fan of them. I have been following them since the time some of the members featured in Stray Kids' survival show and were known as Silver Boys. I was very sad to find out that basically half the Silver Boys members weren't going to debut with the other half. But I am still happy that majority of them still got to debut in their respected groups or are doing other individual works. Like, both BX and Sunghoon got to debut in the group called CIX with ex-member Bae Jin Young of 101. Whereas, Wang is in the group called AB6 with ex-members Woojin and Daewoo of 101. While the rest such as Midam, Noah, and Raesung, are doing their own individual things. Anyways, the ones who stayed with YG went through YG's harsh survival show and are now planning to finally debut very soon. I really like these boys, they are very charming, and although I don't really tend to be fans of groups that have the members that are younger than me, meaning, unless they have at least 2 or more members that are either older or my age, I won't become a fan of them. I don't know why, but it just feels weird to be a fan of a group where the members are all younger than me. However, if the group have really good music, then I will let it slide. So for Treasure's case, they seem to be the exception, because so far, based on their one song called Crazy, it seems that they will be producing really good songs in the future. So despite all of them being younger than me, with the oldest being only 1 year younger than me, I am willing to let it slide and continue to be their fan, on the condition that they make good music. Anyways, I am praying for a great success for their debut. By the way, my bias for this group is Bang Dam. Following Treasure, we have TOO. For TOO's case, they are a very recent and new group. Meaning, they just made their official debut about 2 months ago, through the survival show called World Class, that came out about 6 to 8 months ago. Even though I knew about the survival show, I will admit that I didn't really follow up with them until just a few days ago when I was watching Road to Kingdom and happened to see them again. While watching Road to Kingdom, I was very much intrigued with their performances and dancing skills, and decided to look more into them, and that is when I found out that they were the group who debuted through World Class. I remember watching the survival show when it first came out, but I was quickly turned off the moment I saw Lil Pump, who I have never been a fan of. But, after seeing them in Road to Kingdom, I decided to re-watch the survival show to get a better idea of the members and how they came to be. I even watched the episode that Lil Pump was in, and I have to say, they have really grown on me, to the point that I have been keeping myself busy with a lot of TOO content, even though there aren't a lot to begin with. Because they are a fairly new group, they don't have a lot of content as the group TOO, so I have been rewatching a lot of other old content when they were in the survival show instead. My bias in this group at the moment, is Wongi, but I do like all the members. Plus, even though all the members are all younger than me, the oldest 3 bunch being 1 year younger, I have decided to keep an eye on them, to see what else they bring forth in the future. Because, I can't really judge their music until they bring out more. But I do really like their song Take It Slow, and To You. Lastly but not least, is Gravity. Similar to TOO, Gravity is also a fairly new group. I found this group through looking through Monsta X content and found that Starship was debuting a new boy group. I was finally happy, because Monsta X would finally have a brother group, as well as not be the only active male group under Starship. I mean, technically speaking, Monsta X did already have a brother group called Boyfriend, but no one knows where they disappeared to. Anyways, hopefully Starship learned their lesson through Boyfriend and Monsta X and will do right by Gravity. I really like their second song title called Jumper way more than their main title song. Plus, the moment I heard the song Jumper, I knew right away that Johan helped produce this song. I mean, I already knew that Johan was helping produce some of their songs in their album, but I didn't know specifically which songs he worked on, until I heard Jumper. The song just screamed Johan all over it. As for this group, I don't really have a bias, but I do find myself looking towards Songmin a lot. He is so adorable, and I like how his natural voice is so high, like I literally got so shocked when I heard him speak for the first time. It was the same type of shock I had when I heard Stray Kids Felix speak. Anyways, just like TOO, I will be keeping an eye out to see what else they bring forth in the future. Anyways, this brings me to the end of my video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you and see you next time.